convention was in 1968. In fact,
So you got to see the one that everybody always talked
about, yes. Attorney Arthur D. Shores and I were the two.
So let me start by getting you, I know who you are, but just say your first and last name.
Okay, yes. My name is Joe L. Reed. I'm chairman of the Alabama Democratic Conference. And I'm a retired employee of the Alabama Education Association for 47 years. So right now I'm just involved in politics, helping people get registered to vote, trying to help people achieve their mission through society. And I'm having fun. I'm doing all right.
And you just look at me and tell the cameras out there. You said you were here in 1968.
Yes.
A lot of people are trying to compare that to today. Do you think that's a fair comparison?
No, it's no comparison. In '68, we were struggling trying to get blacks into the convention. In fact, Arthur Shores, Attorney Arthur Shores, and I were the first two blacks to be elected as delegates in the history of Alabama to come to a Democratic convention. So that time we had no blacks coming. And of course there have been some challenges made, which I won't spend time talking about it today. But, and we had, at that particular time, you had George Wallace on the scene. At that particular time, you had division in the a delegation, and you had not only a division in the delegation, you also had this whole effort about getting blacks just to be here. And Robert Vance, who was the chairman of the Democratic Party of Alabama at that time, because he's in heaven now, Judge Vance arranged for Attorney Arthur Shores and for me to be delegates. That's how we got to be the first two delegates. And you also had, at that time, George Wallace was challenging, running for president. So it was a whole new issue. But now we are all having a good time. There are some things that went on in this concerning the Alabama delegation that I'm not going to deal with today. We're going to get through this election, and then I'm going to sit down, and I'll sit down with you guys too and give you a story that is not going to be so pleasant. But now we are all here trying to get through it so we can do two or three things. First, elect Kamala Harris as our next president, and then of course we want to defeat the guy that can't ever tell the truth. So we got a lot going. Donald Trump, of course, that's what we're talking about. I'll just be straight with me finished. But so we have all of those things going. We have more blacks in the delegation now than we've ever had. We have a black chairman of the Democratic Party, Reverend Randy Kelly. I'm still involved in politics, deeper today than I was then. So there's a whole lot of difference in the two conventions, and I'm glad, and it's for the better. I mean, 20 years ago, or not 20 years ago, 57 years ago, good gracious, you ever thought of having a black woman that's fit to be the Democratic nominee? Or you ever thought about having a guy like Joe Biden, who's done a terrific job as a president, gave it up so that Kamala Harris could win, because he didn't want to leave the country in the hands of Donald Trump. Trump is going to lose this election. He's not going to win it. He is not going to win. American people, and I'm talking about white America, white folk in this country are not dumb enough to leave this country in the hands of a guy like Donald Trump. Now that's who's going to. It's the majority of this country is basically white, and fundamentally, if the whites want to elect somebody like Donald Trump, who wants to get rid of the Constitution, let me tell you what that means to get rid of the Constitution. One, if you don't have a Constitution, you don't have the 13th Amendment, which prohibits slavery. The 14th Amendment, equal protection of the law, and the 15th Amendment, the right to vote. Suppose those amendments not around. Are you telling us we could go back into slavery again? I know it'll be a bloodbath, it'll be another war for that matter, but the point I'm making is that people don't realize when this guy is saying, we're going to suspend the Constitution, I'm going to be a dictator for a day. Everyone's just like anybody else. If he gets to be dictator for a day, he'll want 2 days. He'll want 3 days. And so fundamentally, we're talking about not turning this country over to someone who has no respect for the Constitution, has no respect for law and order, has no respect for a lot of other things that we love in this country. So no, he's not going to win because the American people are not going to let him win because they love this country better than they love Donald Trump.
All right, thanks so much, Dr. Reed.